point actually. That's a great point that you just made as well. I tell this point a lot that even for people who come into the classes as new, basically, do not try this what you see on the street because you're gonna get beat up. Like me as a person who's like a black belt, even like if someone comes up and tries to teach me something, all right, everyone, welcome to the Talk Lab podcast. If you are one of our great subscribers and you have joined the Talk Lab podcast already, thank you for doing that. If you haven't joined the Talk Lab podcast yet, you should be clicking that button. Click that button and join this great family. Give this video a like, comment down below as well. Any questions that you would have for our guest today. If you haven't checked the Talk Lab podcast on other platforms such as Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Angami, you can check them all. They're all in the description. Today with me, I've got a person that I'm actually have been a big fan of lately. A great martial artist and a great coach and a special person on social media. He's presenting. He's such a great creator when it comes to presenting martial artists. I've got Alan with me. How's it going, bro? We're
I'm good, thank you, Ahmed. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on your on Talk Labs. I appreciate you reaching out a couple of weeks ago. Took us a while to coordinate this, but I'm excited to be here.
Thank you very much for joining today. Actually, you're joining us from Sydney, so
Yes.
that's a first for Talk Lab podcast. To be honest with you,
Oh, wow.
and
Awesome.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure because of the time difference as well. Like it's been really difficult for you to like kind of put your time around it, to put your schedule around joining the podcast today. So I appreciate it, man.
No, all good.
All good, all good. I just want to get right into it, and basically, I ask this question to every guest that have been on this podcast, and it's becoming like our golden question on the podcast. So basically, how's COVID treating you, man?
Honestly, COVID, COVID has last year. I think in life everything happens, but it's a blessing in disguise, depending how you respond to it. So for us, COVID forced us, it obviously forced us to close our physical gym, but it also forced us to open up online classes to people around the world. And it forced us to pivot, forced us to move faster. So it's been a year now, and now we're able to kind of help people around the world, not just in our local Sydney area, but yeah. So I believe COVID has been a blessing.
Man, that's a great thing, and I've been hearing this from a lot of creators that have been on this podcast as well. It's been they've taken COVID in a positive way, and
Yeah,
basically, they're saying that it's a blessing because they took the time as well to like learn something or create something
yeah.
else. So yeah, I feel that it's becoming kind of like a a bit of a repetitive answer, but it's actually the truth as well. Like
It's
for
the truth.
myself,
Yeah.
I took the time to create this podcast as well. So
Oh, well, there you go. You
there
see.
you go. Yeah. So one of the things actually, and I want to get right into the topics, just to not waste a lot of time. Basically, one of the things that I get asked myself, and I feel a lot of martial artists get asked, basically, why do you get into martial arts in the first place? Like, why should I get into
I
it?
think first of all, I mean, get into it because if you feel yourself called to get into it. So what I mean by that is, you don't need to force yourself to do anything you don't want to do, because if you're gonna do it, you want to do it well. Especially like a discipline like martial arts. It's not something you want to just jump in and yeah, just do it. You want to go all out. You want to do well. So do it if you feel, oh yeah, like I've always wanted to do martial arts, or I've always watched a movie and like, oh, I want to do like that. So I never had the time, but now we can make time. There's so many ways to train. But if you're somebody who's like, oh, I've never liked martial arts, or then it's probably not right for you. So it depends if it's something you feel inside, it's something you want to do. Then make the time and go down that journey and try it out and see how you feel.
Man, such a good answer. Why did you get into martial arts yourself? What was the first step that made you, or actually, what made you take that first step? Sorry, to go into martial arts.
Yeah.
And the,
Honestly, as a kid, I've always watched martial arts movies, and I think that's what most people, watching growing up, watching the Bruce Lee movies, the Van Damme movies, and watching all those movies back in the 80s and 90s. Um, and just growing up, always. But honestly, I would used to be so scared of martial arts. Growing up as a kid, I remember, you know, the first time I saw a martial arts school, you know, when my parents were driving across our street, and I saw a martial arts school, and I saw a kid in a white gi uniform, and it's a kid they were sparring, and one kid punched another kid in the stomach, and he fell down, and I was so scared, and that was 7 years old, and I was so scared of that. But when I was about 11 years old, um, one of our neighbors was doing martial arts and said, "Oh yeah, do you want to come along?" So I went, and it wasn't like your traditional white gi, it wasn't karate. It was actually Shaolin Kung Fu,
Oh.
and exposed me to not only martial arts as a way of fighting, but also martial arts as a way of conditioning your body,
Mhm.
and how to make yourself stronger, and and that moved me onto researching about um, deeper martial arts, like every different martial arts, and reading books and all these things. And I discovered martial arts can be a way of life instead of just something you do. It's not something that you just show up once a week, two, three times a week, and just like a gym, but it's an actual way of life that can improve every aspect of your life. So then it just became a lifestyle for me since then.
Interesting. Interesting. Actually, yeah, I highly agree with you because basically speaks myself as well. Like the week that I feel that I haven't done much classes and I haven't, let's say, went to the dojo as well, it just feels off. You know what I mean? Like it kind of even like your mental status as well just gets
Yes,
affected automatically because like
exactly.
your body and your mental health gets or mental space it gets used to that, going to the gym, working out, or doing doing the stretches, doing the workout as well. It's something else. I don't know. It puts you in this mental status that's I don't know. It's out of this world if I would describe it.
Yeah, the way I think of it is if you provide you train the right way,
Right.
you tap into this state called flow, and flow state is something that I find so interesting. I'm actually trying to write my next book on flow because I've been researching this thing called flow for the last I'd say 7 years, and flow. So in psychology we call it flow, but in sports science you call it being in the zone.
Mhm.
In anime you call it ultra instinct. So it's this idea where your mind, your body becomes one, and time slows down. Like you're playing basketball and time slows down. You see every opportunity, or when you're skiing down the slopes and you see every obstacle, and your mind just kind of slows you down. You don't think. You're fearless. That I feel is the ultimate state of being that we want to be in. And martial arts is one of those avenues. If trained properly, to me, it helps me access that state. And I remember researching about martial arts. One of the highest levels that you want to attain is called no-mindedness. No-mindedness is or in karate called mushin, and it's that state where your mind surrenders, and you don't think, and it's all responding, and you just enter this state. You enter another world where life is good. So then, ever since then, to me now Invincible, the idea of Invincible has evolved, right? Now, to me, it's the idea where, so first of all, no matter who you are, what you look like, where your background is, where you come from, how you built, you can achieve great things. So not just about martial arts or not just about strength training or doing tricks or stuff like that, but Invincible is this idea where you can tap into no-mindedness and flow, and then you bring that to your life, your career, your relationships, everything in life, so that you feel in your zone and you feel you can master it. And so that is that state that I believe becomes a lifestyle, instead of just like you said, training at a gym and that's it. So it's not one part of your life, but it's something that helps you transcend, so that you can master every aspect of life.
Man,
It gives you that advantage.
that's a great way of actually describing it. Wow. Because like it kind of like as well like for me, basically it's just like I always had that feeling and I always like kind of like feel myself in that space, but it's difficult to describe, and this is
Yeah,
such a great
yeah.
way of describing it. I'll be looking out for your book, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I was actually surprised. Like I started to do research on basically what you've done. I was surprised that you've done a book as well. Like aside from coaching and basically having your own school as well. Like it's very impressive, man. Um,
Thank you.
I want to go back to like your first class though, like first class ever with martial arts. Um, how was that like? Like how was the first class like? Because like I'm pretty sure like for everyone it's very competitive. It's very different and it's very difficult. Like you see other people that are like way more experienced than you are, and you're like I'm lost. I don't know what to do. So yeah, I'll give you the microphone and let you know. I'll let you tell me how your first class felt like, if you can remember. Or
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Um, I think it's like with like anyone, and I guess it reminds me because I'm able to see so many people today who come to our class for the first time, and I can kind of see what it feels like. Um, so for me, my first class, it was just like anybody starting anything new. You don't know what you're going into. You don't know anybody. You don't know what to expect. So you just go in, and I remember just going in just with an empty, no expectation. So I just went in and just followed the instructor, do whatever it takes. But what I found was that um, as the weeks go by, I found myself um, loving it more and more. The first lesson was just okay. First lesson, yeah, it was awesome, and no expectations. Yeah, went home a bit sore the next day. But yeah, I think it's something that grows on you as you see progress. Um, it was daunting, to be honest, because I've been to so many different martial arts schools, and honestly, the martial arts industry, sometimes you go into there's a bit of ego, or so you do, as a beginner, you do feel a little bit um, intimidated,
right,
So that's why for us at our school, one thing we do very different is there's no ego. You walk in, everyone high fives you, shakes your hand, sometimes gives you a hug. So we try a family feel. So even if you're a beginner, the advanced guys will hold your hand and pick you up and make you feel comfortable. And I think that's very important for everybody, because the first class is always intimidating. You don't know what to expect.
exactly. And I feel as well like sometimes when I try to bring friends on, basically just to see the class or just to train with us, just to see how it is. That's the first thing that they tell me is like, oh, I'm gonna fall or I'm gonna do something stupid. They're gonna laugh at me. Like, that's it. That's well,
Yeah,
no one's gonna laugh at you because everyone has been in your situation. Like we all fell down. We all basically, you know, just got back up again. No one will laugh at you if it feels like a great family. Uh, that's basically the class that you need to stick with. Is basically like a class that doesn't feel like just like everyone's just competing with everyone. It's a family basically. And one lesson that actually like my masters have taught me before is like you can teach everyone basically you can teach everyone how to kick, you can teach everyone how to punch, but you can't teach everyone how to respect each other. Respect is nothing that basically you basically create that in yourself. It's not you gain that. It's nothing that can be taught out like from books or passed on from parents. Basically they can do their best, but well, it's up to you if you take it or not. You know what I mean? I feel that martial arts actually helps create that create that vision or create that
the
respect.
character.
Yeah, it's basically accounts for this environment of yeah, let's basically put the body through the hardest things, but also put the mind and train the mind to be respectful, because with great power comes great responsibility, and we all have always heard that. But I don't know. I don't see it much being like let's say I don't see that. I'm losing the point here. Sorry. I don't see it on the land actually like being you know followed. Let's say as much like
I agree. I agree.
especially in movies as
Especially the
well
media.
nowadays.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. I feel like, um, a lot of people ask, well, how come you don't compete? How come you don't fight? But to me, martial arts is not always about beating other people down. And I feel like martial arts ultimately for me only. Not for everyone. For other people, yeah, I just want to get into a fight, get into a ring and beat other people and prove how good I am. For me, martial arts is more about just improving yourself. Physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, improving yourself. It becomes a way of life. It's an art. That's why it's martial arts, not martial fighting. Um, so I feel like martial arts traditionally in the old days, if you look at, I know your background is Taekwondo, so origins of Taekwondo, karate, kung fu, all the more so Eastern martial arts, but traditional old from thousands and thousands of years ago, they were more a way of life. They were more of improving yourself, conditioning your mind, your body. The word kung fu is one of the oldest martial arts we have.
Exactly.
It's an ancient style. Kung fu in Chinese, it doesn't mean fighting. It doesn't mean beating someone down. It means perfection through hard work. It means persistence. It means refining yourself until you become better, right? And that applies to everything. So calligraphy is kung fu, because if you master the art, it's kung fu. Or sculpting, making a sculptor, anything that requires persistence, dedication, and focus, and that energy, that's kung fu. So that's what I've always brought into what I do, from building the company to teaching to building myself. Everything I try to apply that philosophy of kung fu. So that's why it's so beautiful, right? It's this idea where it's just constantly improving. Um, it's a shame that the way I see martial arts now, with certain media and things like and the growth of MMA and UFC, it's become this thing where kids and people who don't know martial arts, they see martial arts as guys in shorts and in a cage and fighting, and it's just about beating people down,
Exactly.
and it's lost the meaning of improving yourself. Granted, there are some schools and there are some athletes out there who try to maintain that respect and humility and character of the arts, but it's been dominated by the bigger characters and the ego and so one of my things I do want to fight against that. The martial arts is heading in this direction of it's martial arts in this industry in our industry in today's day and age is going into two directions,
Right.
right? One is the MMA cage fighting and all that beating other people down, right? Competition based. The other is more the traditional arts and the like your traditional karate and but the problem is these two. Problem is with this one, with the traditional side, it gets a bit boring. A lot of kids don't want to do that these days. They go to class and they do the same punches every day. They get bored. But the other side is too much ego, and I can see people growing, kids especially growing up. Oh, let's beat this people up. So what I'm trying to do, I want to create our own path where we create what I call high quality human beings. Yeah? Or I want to help people. It's all about improving yourself. It's not even about style of martial arts. It's just in principle just about improving yourself. And that way, hopefully, we can make the world better. And all the kids that are growing up, the future generations, they grow up with physical strength, mental toughness, and also character. Like they're humble, they're respectful, as you said, and that way, I believe the world can become better.
That's an interesting way of
So,
looking at it as well, because looking at media right now, um, when we see, like, for an example, like what kids are looking for, basically they're looking for, you know two guys locked in a cage punching each other to death, basically, until the judge says stop. That's it. And you see a lot of blood on the ground and stuff like that. And, like, well, yes, if you're gonna hit someone, if you're a martial artist and you're gonna hit someone hard, there's gonna be blood. Not kidding, but basically, this is not just, we don't just kick and punch and uh, you know beat people up. There's a lot to it. But what would you like?
and the
Yeah, go
other,
ahead.
I'm
Oh
sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
I'll quickly add one more thing. A lot of things that people don't realize is what you see in MMA and in a cage or an octagon, right? It is not a reflection of the streets,
No.
right? Because self-defense on the streets is very different to sport martial arts. Sport martial arts, you have your 3 minute rounds, or you have your round, and you're in a cage and you have one person to focus on. So the styles that we use in the street and in the ring or octagon is very different to what you would do in self-defense. So in the ring you have these timed rounds. On the streets, research shows you have only 4 to 9 seconds to
Literally.
respond. You know, yeah, 4 to 9 seconds to respond, and that could change your life. And not only are you facing one person, you're potentially facing a lot of different people. So a lot of people don't realize that if you want to learn self-defense. But if you want to learn combat fighting, like get into octagon, that's a whole different ballgame. So they're all the same. So there's different aspects of martial arts that um, that's why it's so beautiful, to be honest, because there's so many different avenues you can tap into, um, and yeah. So for me, it's more about we do the self defense, we do also the competition side, and get people to hold pads and things like that. But ultimately, I want to get people to be holistically as a human to be better. So
Exactly.
that's the beauty
That's a
of
great
martial
point,
arts.
actually. That's a great point that you just made as well. Like, and I tell this point a lot that even for people who come into the classes as new, basically, do not try this what you see on the street because you're gonna get beat up. Like me as a person who's like a black belt, even like if I if someone comes on the street and try to rob me, basically, I'm just giving them the money. I don't care about,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna fight them for the money unless I'm fighting for my life. I'm gonna do
exactly. Your loved one.
basically a quick hit
Yeah,
and run away, call the police. It's their job to deal with them. I'm not gonna stay and fight with the guy. No thanks. I'm not trying to get stabbed because you never know. You never know who you're dealing
I
with,
totally agree.
right?
Even Bruce Lee himself says, if you want to, in today's day and age, if you want self-defense, hire a bodyguard, or because there's no point fighting someone. Someone can pull out a gun, pull out a knife, you're gone.
Ex-
Bruce Lee himself said that.
Exactly. Like, yeah, you never know who you're dealing with. You don't know what they have. Uh, like they think that's a thing. Like as well, like because media has drawn this picture of martial artists as those invincible people that
Yeah,
like can dodge knives and bullets and stuff
yes,
like that.
yes,
I'm sorry, but
yeah,
a knife is a in a combat fight. Basically,
yeah,
soldier says,
yeah,
and in a close fight, a knife is more effective than a gun. So, like,
yeah.
if someone's coming at me with a knife, I'm running. I'm sorry. I'm running for my
That's
life.
right.
I'm not
That's
gonna
right.
dodge the knife, not gonna take it from his hand. No, thank you. And yeah, like kids don't do what you see in movies. Don't apply that on the street or not even with your friends. Please don't do that.
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
it's
exactly
very
right.
risky.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I wanted to make a point as well, or my question was before if we have so much effect from social media, what do you think? Um, what do you think the main thing that keeps kids nowadays, let's say, or people nowadays, keep them stuck to this way, the old ways of martial arts, the old vision of martial arts, not the basically not the way of like MMA fighting or UFC fighting. No, the respectful way, the way that's becoming a lifestyle for yourself and myself. What do you think that the main points that keep them stuck to that martial arts,
Keep them stuck to the old
to
way,
the old
or
way? So what how or let's say let me form it in a better way. Let me form the question in a better way. Like what should martial artists like you and me do to keep people basically um, stuck to our ways or attract them basically to do our ways instead of basically let's say MMA fighting.
yeah, yeah. That's a really good question. Um, and it's something like we're trying to do, and I think it's it's about learning to embrace change as well, because if we stick too much to our traditional martial arts, the new generation they don't like it. Back in when I first started martial arts 21 years ago, we held a horse stance for like 30 minutes and you don't move. Or like you do punching for like like you do 100 punches a night.
Oh,
These days, a lot of kids they're not they can't do that because their brains have been changed and rewired to have instant gratification. So we've got to make it fun, interesting, draw their attention. Once we've got their attention, then we teach them the values. And I think that's what we need to do. Um, is we make it modern, we make it fun, and like for example, Invincible with the brand, I like to follow what Nike does. I want to make it look cool, look inspirational, look motivational. So then people get excited, right? And when they want to train, then provided our vision, our purpose is clear. We're not just there to just train them, but we're there to inspire them, transform them, and create amazing human beings. So once we got their attention, then we give them the good stuff, like help them transform. That's the way we're trying to do it. And yeah, so hopefully that answers your question.
That's a great answer actually. I like that. I really like that because like as well the world is changing. Basically the way kids now look at, let's say, martial artists or martial arts in general is changing. So we've got to change our ways, basically getting them stuck to the right way instead of like them going and basically they're gonna try that stuff anyway. So they better try it in a controlled environment better
Yeah.
than going on the streets or in school with their friends. I've seen that happen multiple times, to be honest with you, and it doesn't end up well. Like not for the students, not for the teachers, not for the school, and not for the parents. So might as well have it
That's
have it in a controlled environment. And yeah,
right.
like
Yeah.
sorry, you were trying to make a point, or sorry, I
Sorry.
thought you were trying to make a point. My bad. There you go.
No, no, no. I'm listening to
Oh, I
you.
got you. I got you. So yeah, we were talking about Alan being the martial artist, being a coach, having his own school, but I want to also look at your personality in a kind of like a different way, and I'm looking at now at Alan, the writer, actually the author of a great book. Like wow, so what do you like when it comes to representing martial arts, basically in your book, or actually let me start it this way. What made you like actually write your book at the first place, or write a book?
Uh, so as a kid, I've always learned to write goals. So goal setting for me has always been a big thing. And I remember sitting down one day, one of my goals was to write a book by the age of 27. And um, and I also wrote down that the goal I want to be. Um, I don't know why, but I think I just had really good mentors who pushed me to achieve great things. And my mentor said, write it in a way that you blows your mind. So he says, why don't you write it in a way where you're a bestseller? Oh, man, what do you mean? So uh, yeah, I just 27 was the goal. So at 26 years, 25 to 26, I was trying to, my time's coming up. I'm almost 27. How do I need to put out a book? It's not the longest book. It's not like a big, thick book. It was just a simple, a workout guide with some knowledge of what I've had in terms of physical training and things like that. And yeah, we launched it. I think, a few weeks before I turned 27, and and I was lucky enough that we had a good following that we built up from our YouTube channel and our database, and the community helped me get to number one bestseller. So yeah, I was just really lucky and thankful to the community who helped me achieve that. But yeah, it's a workout book. It's called the 21-minute peak performance body guide, um, and it's just at that time I saw that in the martial arts space, uh, they didn't have like a guide to help you get stronger, to help you get faster, get you more powerful. Now there are heaps of programs out there, but at that time when I released it, I saw that the martial arts industry was very much about techniques and very much about um, you know just skills training. And then at that time, CrossFit was going up and functional training was rising, but not a lot of martial arts was moving into that space. So I thought, why don't I fuse the two? So I fused the Tabata training, different workouts into the martial arts, and combining martial arts workouts like kicking and squat, kick, squat, different exercises that improves your functional training, but at the same time improving your speed, your power, your strength, and your techniques. So that's what that was the goal of that at that time.
Interesting. And actually, it's an interesting way of communicating as well. So basically, Would you call that basically a way of linking the body to the mind?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. The body and mind's always connected.
Always.
You train one, you train the other.
Always, yeah, yeah. It's such an interesting way of communicating as well. Like, and basically another way of communicating that you actually use as well, which basically gets us to kind of like the end of the podcast, let's say, or the last points that we're trying to make on this podcast is um, being on social media, being active on social media nowadays is such an important thing. First of all, um, but it's a new way of communicating. Let's say, as we said, we're trying to communicate to the new generation, um, to introduce the true martial arts to them. And yeah, you're doing a great job there.
Thank you
All
so much.
good. Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Um, first, like, let me just say, like, the first thing that actually got me, or actually pulled me towards your videos is the way or and the forms that you use, basically. So that's what I look at when I see basically kicks or punches or anything on social media. Most likely, I just scroll by them because it's either like a wrong form or something else. So I get pissed. I just like, no thanks. And probably it's some kid who just like joined like 2 months ago and he wants to teach someone else. But man, like you, like the first message that I actually sent you was like great forms, man. I don't see that much.
Thanks.
And basically right away I shared. I was like, yo guys, there you go. There's someone you should learn from, because when it comes to forms as well, and it's the most important thing. Um, if you don't know how to kick, you're gonna hurt your, or if you don't know how to punch, if you don't know how to do this movement, you're gonna hurt yourself badly. And people
Yeah.
don't take that, you know, seriously. I feel that people take
Yes.
this stuff for granted, and be, I've seen so many people get hurt because, well, they've done just the wrong movements. So
Yeah.
how, or actually, when did you start basically posting on social media, like posting your workouts or posting movements?
I, I think for a long time,
Oh wow.
I think, but I'm not as consistent as I'm trying to be more consistent. But um, you, social media blew up for like we were lucky in 2012
Mm.
when we were doing a lot of YouTube channels. So from 2000, yeah, 11 2012, we're doing a lot of YouTube channels, and we were lucky that our YouTube channel just blew up, and we've got about 13 million hits on YouTube and about 86,000 followers on there, um, and that just kind of grew our social media presence. Um, and yeah, that's what, and then that's what we've been doing is just showing people like a just a new way to look at martial arts, a new exciting way. We do flips in there, we do different forms of strength training, and yeah, and to me, when you do martial arts, it's an art form,
Right.
right? So it's like back to the idea of kung fu. It's you got to do it well. You have to do it with quality. Otherwise, it's like dancing. You want to make it quality. It's you know, and it takes time to refine yourself. It takes time to improve. Um, but yeah, to me, everything that we put out, I feel like it just needs to be proper and quality. Because you want to feel proud of yourself. You want to put excellence to your name. You know, you put something out, you don't want it to put out, and then, yeah, like it's 10 years later, you look back, oh, I'm not proud of that. You know, you can always improve yourself, but I feel like you want to put something that you are proud of.
Exactly.
So it does take effort to put something out there to be proud of. And I think at the end of the day, it's just all about um, uh, it's just learning to put yourself first, not in an ego way, but more so respect yourself. You know, we talked about respect before. At our camp, we teach three types of respect. Right, first type of respect is respecting yourself, and that means like whatever you do, make it good. You know, don't just put it so it's mediocre. You know, make it good. So because you respect yourself, because you put yourself first. When you respect yourself, you don't give up. You're willing to wake up. You're willing to train. You're willing to put in the effort because you respect yourself. You know, when it gets cold, you're not going to say, "Oh yeah, I'll train tomorrow," or even if it's at midnight, if you want to train, you train. So it's about putting yourself first, putting your goals first, putting your purpose first. The second respect is respecting other people, because you can respect yourself a lot, but you might have become too egotistical. So you got to balance that with respecting other people. And we always teach people, look everyone eye to eye. Doesn't No one's above you, no one's below you. Make sure you respect everybody. Show kindness to everybody, especially in our social media day and age now. There's so many people who can just sit back behind a keyboard and just spread negativity to a whole bunch of other people. And so I think it's we need to teach people to treat everyone equal. Just show respect. If you've got nothing good to say, don't say it. If you've got something positive to say. It's just spread good, because that does a lot more good for the world than negative. And the last time respect is respect everything around you: your space, your environments, your room, your house, your dojo, your dojang, like where you train. It's just about respect.
Great. Yeah. Wow. Um, actually, so as well, like being on social media, being a creator on social media, actually, it comes with its own challenges as well. Like, let me say, um, some people might ask, like, why even bother, like, in the first place, being on social media and just teaching people, right? Like, people can like basically go to dojos or go to martial arts schools and learn. Why bother like using social media to teach people and create these challenges for yourself?
Why
So
bother?
yeah.
I think we do it because I don't know. For me, I get a lot of messages from people around the world, uh, from kids all the way to adults who say to me, "Oh, I don't have the opportunity in my country to learn martial arts or to learn what you do. I don't, either because they don't have it in their country, or they can't afford it, or because they don't have time to go." Um, yeah. So when they see our content, or they see some of the tutorials and stuff, they say, "Oh yeah, thank you so much for doing what you do, because I without that I wouldn't be able to go participate in any of this." So that drives me. That motivates us, inspires us, because like there could be a 13-year-old kid in Africa who you know, uh, wants to do this stuff, and but he doesn't know how and has no access to schools. And so just through watching a video or watching something on Instagram, they can start to move forward into what they love, and that's beautiful. So social media has really opened up an opportunity for people all over the world, to be able to connect and share.
Man, thank you for this message. Such a great message. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
It was such an honor to finally talk to you, to be honest with you. And yeah,
And
go
for all your listeners, if you want, we do have um, a free at-home challenge that they can try as
go
well. All they have to do is go to either onto my Instagram. There's a link. There's a free home challenge that you can try. It's for free. It goes for 30 days. Gives you a workout you can try from us. If not, go to www.invinciblevibe.com /home challenge. I think home challenge is the
Oh, thank you very much for
yeah,
dropping
just
that. That's
yeah.
that's very great. Okay, thank you for joining me today. It was actually great to talk to you. An honor to finally talk to you as well. Um, Thank you for giving me the time as well to create this episode.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing, and thank you so much for your chat. I mean, it seems like you've got a good mission there, and you've got a good thing going on. So I wish you all the best, and anything else we can help, please. We're here to support you as well.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. If you guys have made it till the end of the episode, thank you very much. You guys are the real ones. If you haven't subscribed yet to the Talk Lab podcast, you already know what to do. Subscribe and check our social media. Check the links in the description. My guest, Alan's social media and website links are in the descriptions as well. Make sure to check them out and give him a shout out. If you have any questions, you can DM him. You can message him anytime. Thank you very much and have a good day.